this is going to come out wrong, so bear with me here, but it's like, I'm almost like angry that I love you so much. Cause I'm like,
it's like
what
when
does
you
it mean?
look at
Hello and welcome to another episode of Goddess Hangs.
Episode 61. Woo!
I'm Sadie.
And I'm Juliet.
And I'm Victor.
Obviously. Good job, babe.
That's what I do.
And we created Goddess Hangs podcast to make the world of mindset, manifestation, and magic more relatable
and
fun.
I wasn't told that part, otherwise I would have joined in.
Are you wondering who this man's voice is? Well, it's the very own Juliet Piper's beau.
It's my man's.
I haven't appeared on anything.
This is your big day.
This is my debut.
This is your big moment to shine.
Yeah.
Like the star that you are.
Rock solid.
We're so excited to have Victor on the pod today. We have lots of listener submitted questions. So are you ready to get started? Are you ready to tell
Let's get
all?
to the nitty gritty.
So, Victor, we heard Juliet's side of the story of how you met, first impressions. We want to hear it from you.
Okay. So I actually didn't listen to what she said,
We'll see how it lines up.
but I heard that it was a very good, accurate recounting of the tale. So my brother and her friend were playing a show in Silver Lake. It was great. I was there to support my brother. I didn't know who she was.
No.
Not a clue. Well, they were about to start and everyone moved forward up to the band and I saw one girl sitting in the back. I'm a hyper social person, so I walked over there and was like, hey, they're about to start. Do you want to come over? And she was like, no, I'm good. And I was like, all right. Not wanting to lean into that. So I walked away, watched the show. That was the end of it. Really no more of an interaction.
And we've been together ever since.
And that was it. No. And then I think it was like 2 weeks later. I honestly don't remember the timeline.
No.
But we wound up at this Mexican karaoke bar called Los Amigos, which was one of our favorite spots. Mm-hmm. She's there. And I'm like, I recognize her. And I was like, she cute. I like this. So anyways, I was there with my brother and a few friends. And then sure enough, drinking, karaokeing, we wind up, although she doesn't remember this, like singing along with songs. We're like dancing, having the best night.
I'm not sure that happened.
It super happened. And Irish goodbye.
Yeah, then I
Yep.
left.
Disappeared
Heard that.
without a trace.
Yeah. I was very honest in my recounting.
Good. This
And
is great. Then this
I
is
am
just a
prone
repeat.
to exaggerating just a little bit. But I told the truth because I knew you would come on and tell the truth anyways. So
Great.
Might
So
as
anyways,
well.
we fast forward St. Patrick's Day. I'm at Dave & Buster's with my brother. I'm a little sauced. And he had invited her friend and her. I turned the corner and like the gates of heaven opening. It was like, and I was like, and like my eyes grew wide. Like I had just grinning from ear to ear. And I can't tell you how much money I spent that night.
we tell this story
Exactly the same.
And it was, I didn't care about the money. I didn't care about anything. Like I just wanted to be with her and to play games with her. And like, that was the only thing in my mind that mattered. And it was so fun. And then I told her, I was like, hey, tomorrow, me and my friends are getting together to do a barbecue at the park. We slackline, play Frisbee, all this stuff.
Yeah.
And she's like, oh, cool. I'll bring my sister. I was like, great. Love to meet her.
I brought my sister.
Yeah.
That's such a funny move. I probably felt like she'd be a good buffer.
Yeah. So anyways, brought her. We were talking, hanging out. She met some of my friends who are a bunch of hooligans. Mm-hmm. And as she's walking away with her sister, I finally asked for her number. She gave me her number. And then just, texting. And then again, shortly after that was our first date. Mm-hmm. And as I'm sure what she told you from what she told me she told you was that we had our first date. We had our first kiss before we even went to the beach. It was like, literally, it was like...
I don't remember that.
It was, I can tell you, it was El Matador Beach. I can tell you exactly where we parked. The longitude and latitude coordinates were, no, I'm just kidding.
We kissed in the car?
We kissed, we were like literally just so connected already.
Aww.
I remember like picked her up from her house. I was like standing on my rear tire, leaning
remember
over my
that.
car, just like ogling. And then so we park, kiss, then we walked down to the beach and we found a little cove and we were listening to country music, Die a Happy Man, like you said, and she had her little whoa moment. And I just like knew from the beginning, like I think it was probably from Los Amigos that I was just like
The night that I don't remember.
I was like, let's do the dang thing. And then she told me, she was like, I'm here for like the seriousness and like all the stuff. I was like, yeah, no, like me too. Like I'm not here to like mess around. So that was kind of it. Like that's how we met, first date, and we'll call it like officially dating. It was just like this fun, really quick ramped up roller coaster where it was like she didn't care who I was, then she forgot who I was, then she showed up to where I was drunk, and then we had the best time, and here we are almost 5 years later.
Yeah, in 1 month it'll be 5 years.
God, that's crazy.
I know.
So anyways, that's
inspirational
the story.
That's the story. I remember a couple years after we started dating, Victor's like, remember our first kiss in the car? And I was like, we kissed in the car? Like,
I have
my memory's kind of poor, to be honest.
Here's the thing. We share really good and really poor memory. Like,
I
you
could
can
tell
recount
you about my
certain things,
childhood, what the whiteboard looked like in first grade.
and I can tell you about a conversation we had 3 years ago on August 18th.
And I will
and like
never
I can tell you like,
remember
oh, we were at a red light on this street corner.
Yeah. So
I'm
it's
like
good.
the llama from Zootopia.
The two of us together can remember some stuff.
Some things.
Yeah.
We love it.
Aw, our little origin story. You really made that sweet. Thank you.
I believe it's how you told it too. Hold on, you got a little hair.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I made myself sound a little bit more like he was chasing me, but that's fun for me. So
It was great.
thank you for
There was a chase involved.
letting me be chased.
So I have a really hard-hitting question. This one's pretty deep. So take a deep breath. If Juliet brought a cat or bunny home, would you really be that mad?
Here's the thing. I can answer this very quickly. Cat, yes. Bunny, not as much.
Oh, interesting.
Wait, so are you
Now,
saying
You're gonna kick yourself for saying
not
that.
approval.
No,
Because
but
I'd still be mad.
wait.
Because the question is, would I be as mad? And
No,
it's
but like I could deal with just a little bad.
No, I'd be
No, we can't.
Victor's
do a cat.
Victor's gonna be the like Instagram dad, where it's like the dad that didn't want the cat or the dog or the bunny,
Yeah, it'd be
and
that,
then
but me in a
you
hospital
and
holding the cat because of my allergies.
No cats, but you and the bunny are gonna be completely bonded, and Juliet's gonna be like jealous, like I got the bunny.
It's gonna hop around and follow you.
Here's the thing. I have a pretty good, like, I'm like not Dr. Dolittle per se, but animals do tend to love me,
Yeah. Well, and they talk to me.
and
kind
they
of.
talk to her. She is Dr. Dolittle.
We're the doula. I knew a girl with that last name.
That's weird.
That's not important right now.
But anyways,
yeah,
bunnies are cute and they are super adorable, and so are cats. Some of them are. I don't like all cats, but some of them are really cute. I just have super bad allergies to cats, and I've never cared for them in my life.
But you wouldn't be that mad about a bunny.
Are cute, but they also eat everything. And if a bunny chewed my cable, I would be, or like parts of the wall, I'd be super upset.
We'd have to bunny-proof the home.
Yeah, but see, like that's
Okay. Well, it's good to know. Maybe in our next place.
maybe.
Juliet,
We have a
you like,
yard.
I'll be like, this bunny followed me home, and you're like, I see the receipt.
Crazy.
Like it just jumped into my
Guess
car.
what? I'm getting Juliet for Valentine's Day.
Bunny of love.
A robotic bunny, like Sparkle.
An animatronic.
The robotic cat.
Sparkle
is
and glitter.
I can't. Oh wait, now I'm into it.
That's great. Yeah,
Okay.
I think that's kind of where I stand on it. Is cat super bunny like I'd be upset, but
What if I brought home a doggy?
I'd be stoked.
Okay, we'll have a dog.
Dogs chilling, and I have allergies to dogs too. But I would
just had the
sacrifice
dumbest
all that.
thought.
Yeah.
Because it says always like, oh, what if our future kids watches? I was like, oh, what if our future dog watches this?
Your future dog will watch this.
Some dogs do watch TV.
Ours will.
Boo
Tula
loves
does.
to watch TV.
Yeah, some animals.
Simon, my old cat would watch TV.
Tula, my family dog, she, like if you put on The Lion King, she's invested.
Anything with animals in it.
They get so like
yeah.
triggered into it.
Yeah.
They
They're like,
love it.
whoa. All right. Next question. So this question says, what are deal breakers in your relationships? So this might be from like past relationships, and then you found each other. And of course, 5 years in, there's no deal breakers yet. Dun, dun, dun. Just kidding. But what are some deal breakers for you?
We have
mean-
a lot of the same ones.
I was gonna say, obviously, like, I feel like cheating that's a bad one.
It can be. Sometimes it can be worked through and
Well, yeah,
can
I
get
mean,
better.
of course. But everyone responds. Sadie's dying. But like everyone responds to it differently.
I don't remember. I'll be honest.
Point is,
You know.
since I let off on the wrong foot, Juliet, why don't you start with some of your deal breakers?
Okay. Okay. To be fair, that would be very hard for us. So
I agree.
We'll say that. We both don't like cigarettes.
Oh yeah,
That would be really
smoking,
hard.
Drugs in general, I guess, but yeah, smoking in particular is just like
Yeah. If you were like mean to my family or hated my family and vice versa,
yeah.
that wouldn't work.
Or like if any one of us was abusive to the other one.
Yeah,
That's a solid deal breaker.
That's
What
a
are
fuck-
like some like lighter ones though? Like not everybody's shared deal breakers.
If you just flicked your boogers at me like all the time, that'd be so annoying.
You wouldn't care.
No, I wouldn't care. I was just trying to think of something stupid. Here's the problem. I'm the most like, put me in any body of water and I'll figure out how to float. Like,
I don't think I'm that way.
so most situations, I'm actually pretty flexible.
Yeah, I'm getting better.
Yeah. So
I
it's
think
hard
it's hard to
say.
know a deal breaker until you see it and then you're like, oh, that's a deal breaker.
Yeah.
I
You
can't think
know-
of mine.
I'm just thinking of reasons why I've said
If you ran away to a circus.
goodbye and never mind to some people. I don't know, but I think I haven't thought about. Okay, well, I guess a deal breaker would be like if you were like, "Oh, I have a second family that I never told you about." But I don't know what you could do at this point where I would be like, "I'm done with you."
Yeah. And I think she mentioned this on the last episode, I think it was, but we've worked through a lot of our kinks pretty early on in the relationship.
It was a fun year one. Let me tell
Yeah.
you.
So now nothing's really a surprise anymore.
Yeah.
Like we set up great boundaries. We understand each other a lot better.
Yeah.
So it's almost hard
Yeah,
to
I don't
imagine
know.
what deal breaker would just
What about what
surface.
if I brought a cat home? Is that a deal breaker?
It's not a deal breaker, but that cat would find
Oh,
a
it's
different
not
home the
a
next
deal
day.
breaker.
I'll take the cat, no worries.
Okay.
All right, what's your favorite movie to watch together?
Oh, Midnight in
Midnight in
Paris.
Paris.
Easy.
That was an easy one.
That was honestly, I can tell you how many nights before we lived together, she would come over to my place because I lived with my grandparents in like this sweet little back house situation.
Mm-hmm.
And I had a projector set up. And so we'd like move my bed. I would change the hue colored lights down to like blue and pink. And we'd watch Midnight in Paris on a projector on like a 120-inch screen. And it was just like, this is the fucking bed.
These details, baby. The lights,
I mean,
screen
honestly,
size. Like
such a
painting
mood.
a
And that
picture.
was, I love movies. Like I do film and photography, so I can watch movies all day long.
I can't.
Right. And so for us to have a movie is actually really special.
One. Just one is nice. Yeah.
It's great. Midnight in Paris.
And what's your song or songs that resonate for your relationship?
Okay. She said it last one, but I'll say it again. Die, Happy Man. Just Thomas Rhett. That was great. When we saw him in concert,
And then what else do we like together?
the
We do
entire
listen-
soundtrack from Midnight
We
in Paris.
listen to the soundtrack to Midnight in Paris a
All
lot.
the
Big
time.
Midnight in Paris couple here.
Oh,
You heard it here
wow.
first.
Yeah.
I don't know. I think we just love country. Truthfully, like we listen to a lot of country together. I think that was also one of my big just like attractions to her. I know
Oh,
that
yeah,
sounds
I
silly,
enjoy country
but
music.
living in LA, everyone's like country music is the devil, and you're like, it's actually just kind of fun if you don't take it that seriously.
Yeah.
And so the fact that we both love country and just
Yeah.
do that.
When I'm alone, I don't listen to it anymore. I used to. Now I listen to all of my like activation vibration kind of things.
yeah, anything from the early 2000s.
Oh,
Big
there's
into
a lot
it.
Of
Like
Britney Spears
like she
in this
loves Britney
house.
Spears. Like I don't care. I'll sing my heart out to Britney. Like let's go.
Yeah.
So
Just anything fun.
yeah, we just like to dance.
We love it. Okay, I'm going to read this whole thing so that you have a little bit of a reference point.
Okay.
So the question is, how has Victor felt as you've evolved and continue to evolve into the confident goddess you are? When one person growing quickly and into their own power can create a lot of tension and upset in relationships, but Victor seems to be so supportive and excited by who you are and your confidence. So I wonder what that experience has been like from his perspective. So the question just being, a lot of times when couples, one of them goes through as much change as Juliet and I, they tend to break up because it's like hard to keep up. What has this experience been like for you as we've done all this in the past year or so?
Easy. Remember how I told you like I could just float in any body of water? For me, like, her happiness is my happiness. Like, so watching her shift out of working her like multiple jobs, not being happy, doing all these things where she was making like a living but wasn't living, that was really hard. So watching her make the shift to just working from home, being able to connect with, you know, Sadie and all you beautiful people who listen to this, that was awesome. And I'm not a spiritual person myself, so that's actually really funny, because when she started doing all this stuff, I was like, that's crazy, because I believe her, but it was just crazy because it was never within the realm of what I knew. So for me, it was, as someone who also loves to learn and just kind of have a piece of conversation wherever I am, it was another conversational piece. Be like, I talk about her all the time. I'll go with them and be like, oh my God, Juliet had this crazy reading. And they're like, you're lying. And I was like, absolutely fucking not. Like, she is on top of it. I love it. And I'm so supportive, because watching her thrive and do it means that she's growing and living the best life that she could live. And then I just get to be a part of that. Like, how freaking cool.
Chills.
Aw, you've been extremely supportive. Because I think it would be very easy when we met each other, Victor was a college student. I was
dressed
a
like
preschool teacher. Like, we are not the same people we were when we met.
No.
In so many ways. And we've both just sort of let each other grow and like move towards what makes us happy. And even if it's something that we can't relate to, like, I can't talk about camera gear, and Victor's not going to sit here for an hour and talk about some of the things I want to talk about, but we find our common ground and we let each other like be who we are. And so that's been really nice.
And to harp on that, like, we're both creative.
Yeah.
So,
and we're both business people, so we do talk about that a lot.
yeah, but my favorite thing is, for instance, I was doing a photo shoot with her friend Irene, who was on the show, and Juliet came along to be like the artistic director. And it was so fun because her input and energy allowed me to just focus on my job, which was taking photos and anything like that. Or we can talk about it, be like, hey, do you like this framing? Because I'm working on a website right now. She's like, no, I don't like the spacing on this. So there's so many things that when she's designing stuff for Goddess Hangs or for her and Sadie, and like, what do you think of this? And it's like, oh, I like the color scheme. I don't like the... Us being creative allows us to be closer. And that's like, that is our common ground.
Totally.
And like another reason why all of this works so well.
And we're both very silly.
Yeah, we do.
And I was so scared because I was always sort of, people were interested in me. Well, maybe I'm assuming this, but I think a big piece of it was because I was in the music world and I did music, and they were like, oh, your songs. And I remember when we started dating, I was very into all that. And now I'm like, oh no, I don't want to play shows. Like, I just don't have the desire. And I remember thinking, I might have even said it. I was like, are you still going to like me if I don't like put an album out every year? And you were like, oh, I don't care about that. Like, it's you.
No, yeah, I love you. I can still tell you, I still have the first photo she ever sent me in this red dress, standing on a grassy hill, sun setting behind her, backlit, beautiful. I can tell you the details of this photo because I just remember it. Aww. And like, it's so funny looking and thinking about that photo. You embodied that songwriter, like artist, like kind of look so much. And it's amazing to see you evolve where like half your closet now is glitter.
It's all very glittery.
Yes, it is.
It's fun.
It's fun
so
to support
fun.
that.
Yeah. So thank you. You've been very supportive.
Anytime.
I mean, he does all of our photos for us.
Yes.
Like, took beautiful photos of us today. So
Always good time.
thank you, Barbara.
This is a great question. What was the transition of not living together to living together like? Was it a little rough or even better than expected?
It's the best decision ever.
Oh my God. It was so good. I mean, not to get like too into it, but
You can get into
before we moved in together, we were a little nervous. Like, I think the relationship was not going to end, but it wasn't in the best spot because COVID was happening.
Yeah.
Due to my situation where I lived with my grandparents, so they were older. Like, we weren't trying to bring people over. So Juliet couldn't come over there. And then where she was living, like I couldn't go over there. So the only time we really had together was driving aimlessly around Los Angeles, which, to be fair, I actually loved.
No, I'm so sick of it.
She did not. Even
I've
to
lived
this
here
day.
for 30 years. I've driven through all the neighborhoods. I was like, we need to move in together, or I don't know what I'm going to do. Like, I
Right.
was at such a breaking point.
So that paints a picture. It was bad. And December 26th of 2019, yeah, she found the place that we're in and shooting this video. 23 minutes after it was posted, we called the dude, scheduled a meeting, came out here, checked it out, and moving in, it just made sense. Like, it was so fun to wake up and be like, Barber. And then, like, make breakfast, like, walk around our empty apartment. We didn't even care. We didn't have anything. It was just fun.
I know.
I think you said 2019. Did you mean 2021?
Oh, no, you're right. It was 2020. And then we moved in 2020. We're so
My strong suit is not
I was
math.
like, that would be like 3 years ago. Haven't you lived together for like a year?
It's been like, it's been just a little while. But
Just a little over
you
a
know
year.
how when some people move in together, people say, oh, you find out who a person really is. And it's like, oh, they're cranky or they're messy or they're... And I'm like, you found out how relaxed I am. Because I was not relaxed when we didn't live together.
Didn't help. My schedule is so sporadic. So,
And
like,
we lived
sometimes...
like 20 miles apart.
Yeah,
which
so
in
sometimes
LA
I would
is
see
like,
her once a week. Sometimes
lot.
I'd see her 4 times a week. And that wasn't good.
No.
So it was a really easy transition, honestly, amongst everything. It worked out super well.
We like living together.
Oh, it's so fun. And we just we'll randomly try to get the other one's attention. Like, I'll be cooking in the kitchen, just like... And she's like on her computer. I'm like, bam. She's like, oh, hi, you look... Yeah, we have many
like
different
it.
walks and everything. We just crack up, and I don't know, we've just
We
made
have
so
many
many
different walks.
Yeah, we just do
Like, we
different
go
little
up-
walks. No, like around the
You
house.
go,
Like, we
like,
do our
up,
little,
bum, bum. Oh,
little
yeah,
crab
yeah.
walks and all this stuff. We're
I'm
weirdos.
like, what kind of walks? Okay. Yes. It's been great. This is I think I said it last week. Like, this is the happiest we've ever been.
Oh, yeah,
Is when we put
10,000%.
ourselves under the same roof.
And it just allowed us
Yeah.
to be closer.
Yeah. We like to be close.
Okay, what are the biggest lessons you've learned from each other?
I think Juliet actually helped me out a lot understanding boundaries. And, again, kind of being a hypersocial person, I would say yes to pretty much any opportunity in front of me. And Juliet was really good at being like, maybe don't put your energy there. Or like, stop talking to that person. That's bad. And I'd be like, that's a great point. I didn't even think about that because I was just so in the mood of talking to people. And it was great. I think that's probably the biggest takeaway for me as I feel more confident in my...
Victor has helped me learn to say yes, and I have helped Victor learn to say no.
Both really important
Like,
things,
I think
honestly.
that's the biggest thing we've learned from one another, because I'm great at saying no, and you're great at saying yes.
It is too.
Like, I'm definitely not a people pleaser. I'm kind, but I don't.
Yeah, I think I just have
Please.
always had the energy to do everything. Like, if I can make it there, I will do it.
No, thank you.
And so it's funny. We've also learned to balance each other out. Like, Juliet has learned how to apply more energy when necessary, even if it's
stay a
hard.
little longer.
She'll stay a little longer. She doesn't Irish goodbye anymore. I'm
No,
Cuban
I
and
don't.
Italian, and that's just... I think my hands would be cut off if
Every
I did
goodbye
that
is like 25 minutes.
to each person.
Yeah.
And I know how to tone down a lot better. Like, I'm much better at just sitting back and relaxing and being more present instead of like looking for the next thing to do
Or say.
or say.
Yeah.
I still talk way too much, but
No, it's okay. I'm chatty too. I just think you're louder.
I am very loud. Yes.
I think yeah. And you like to stay, alpha's the wrong word, but you like to stay in a more like forward position, and that's sort of my natural position. But if I'm around somebody like you, I'll just lean back because I don't care.
Yeah, like early parts of our relationship,
Oh yeah, this wasn't fun.
This was not fun because she'd always be like, I'm competing with you. And I was like, who are you competing with? But the truth is...
Let me tell you what was happening.
Let her tell.
What was happening was we would go be with my friends. I didn't care if it was your friends. We'd go be with my friends who I hadn't seen in a long time. And you would, and I say this with love, dominate the conversation. And the night would end and I'd be like, I didn't talk to any of my friends. And I would sob in the car. I would cry and cry and cry. And finally one time I explained it and I said, I just miss my friends. I can't talk to them when you're talking to them so much. And it clicked. And I had tried explaining it so many ways. And then you were like, okay, because you were like, this is who I am. And I was like, but this isn't who you are. This is just a quality that we can work on.
I mean, it is who I am because I'm a hypersocial person.
Yeah, but I did give other
learn to respect
space.
the boundary
Yes, baby.
of conversation.
Yeah, we barely fight now, I feel like.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's pretty great.
And if we do,
we could fight right now if you'd like.
If we do, it's 100% of the time because I'm mad at nothing.
Oh, yeah, like if she doesn't eat, I'm in the firing line.
Yeah, but you don't ever pick fights with me.
I don't pick fights.
I do, but not often. Not often.
All right. What's your favorite thing? And I feel like we just heard about the least favorite things, but what's your favorite and least favorite thing about each other? Be careful what you pick for least favorite.
This is like a job interview. The least favorite thing has to be something that's also
I'm
a good
too
thing. Like,
generous.
he just gives
I'm
too
a
much.
perfectionist.
He's just always way too early.
Let's start with favorite.
Well, my favorite thing is how ambitious Juliet is because it's really fun to, like, I have many jobs, and so when I'm coming home from my, like, normalish job, and she's like, this thing happened, I worked on graphics, and I'm like, tight. And, like, then it makes me want to get my computer and then work on my business and improve myself. So, like, her ambition inspires me to be more ambitious in my life.
Our resident go-getter.
I am a go-getter.
You are.
That's sweet that ambition's your answer. My favorite thing about you.
She's like, your hair, it looks nice long. I'm like, great. Those are the same answers.
She does like Victor's long hair. She tells me all the time.
better.
I know. I love when men have long hair. But particularly you.
And it was your favorite
That came out
thing.
weird. My favorite thing about you is you're so fun. You make everything fun. Sometimes it's too fun. Like, we don't need to skip at Target. I get really embarrassed.
I don't get embarrassed
He starts
by anything.
moonwalking.
I will, like, just jump around,
Through
dance.
Macy's.
And she's like, stop. Like a little kid who's like, mom's dancing at a party. And he's like, Mom, stop being busy. That's Juliet when I go literally anywhere in public.
But you truly make everything fun, and I know you're going to be a really good dad. Because you're just a very fun guy.
Thank you, baber.
And you're also extremely, I always feel very safe when you're around. Like, I always feel protected. So you're fun and you're protective.
Oh, good. But what's your least favorite thing about me?
You're very messy.
I am super messy.
You're very messy, but I think because I've had other situations where other people's worst qualities were, like, really bad, that I almost find it endearing. But I still am on your butt about it all the time.
Yeah.
I give it a few days. Like, we've had this pile of boxes in the living room for like 6 days. And I was like, I'm just going to give it a few days. And finally yesterday I said, can that go somewhere else, please?
That was this morning.
Oh, was that this morning?
Yeah. Remember the whole memory thing I was telling you about earlier?
But I'd say you're messy, and I'd say you have bad road rage.
Okay, so she picked 2 things.
So 2 things about Juliet.
But they're like tame things. I didn't say anything mean.
No, I don't care. There's no jab someone
He's
can
like,
throw at me that's going to bother me.
Juliet is very obnoxious, and
No, I'd say, and it's hard to say my least favorite thing because I really love every aspect about you.
Because there's so many least favorite things.
But there's so many things. No, sometimes it cracks me up how much energy she has. Because sometimes we'll go places and she's like, I'm tired. And I'm like, but we didn't do much yet.
Oh, how much energy I don't have.
Right, like she
Okay,
doesn't
I was
have.
like, I don't have
Her
a lot
lack of energy.
You're like, yeah, like lack of energy. Sorry, words are failing me.
Oh, you wish I was a little more energized.
But like situationally, like sometimes it's 2 a.m. and I'm like, let's just go hang out with more friends. And she's like, no. Like we started hanging out with your friends at 4 p.m. And I'm like, I don't get it. But that's also on me being like a hyper extrovert. Like the two kind of mesh.
Yeah.
But sometimes it is funny because I feel like we'll cozy up and do things. And I don't consider myself a morning person, but in the morning, I will just like get up and go.
No, I stay in bed
And
for like
she's
2
like,
hours.
come cuddle me. And I'm like, I can't get back into the bed. Like I can't, my body won't relax.
So your least favorite thing about me is that I'm a sleepy little angel.
You're my sleepy little angel.
I'll take it.
Because I mean, outside of that, her being cleaner than me is actually a marvelous thing. And it keeps me in check. Not my office. My office is a
No, I just
tornado.
close the door.
But we just close the door and we ignore that.
I don't say anything about that.
But like everything else, it is good for me to sometimes just like have that gentle nudge of being like, can we throw
God.
away the boxes? And be
Can
like,
I?
yes.
Can I say something that you do?
Absolutely. Speaking of
When-
cigarettes, I think someone's smoking, but it's fine.
Oh, whatever. So, when there are crumbs on the table.
Okay, this is a bad habit I definitely developed.
Well, so instead of like, putting them in a pile and like getting a napkin and putting them in the trash, he'll just take them and just all over the floor.
The worst is I will organize them, like brush them into the
And I
same
think,
place and just be like,
that's nice. He's learning. And then just
Yeet.
toss them on the floor. And I look at him and I go, why would you do that? And I said, I am not, because his grandma's name is Mama Mia. I'm like, you don't live with Mama Mia anymore. Like, I clean the floors. If you cleaned the floors, you wouldn't. And then I'm like, oh my God, I sound like my mother. But it's true.
But it
If
all
you
makes
cleaned
sense.
the floors, you wouldn't do that.
I vacuum once every 3 months.
You vacuumed one time
That's
since
not
we've
true.
lived here.
Not true.
And then one time you did half of the living room.
Also not true.
You vacuumed more. You've turned the vacuum on more than 2 times.
Absolutely.
We'll talk about that later.
As if I'm in trouble. You cleaned the house while I was gone? How dare you?
I just don't think you did.
She just thinks I'm a liar.
Having-
That's her other least favorite quality about me.
My least favorite quality is that you could vacuum more. Wait, about you. My least favorite quality.
Yeah.
It's fine. I don't mind doing it. You work all day. I'm home doing stuff.
Flashbacks because my mom would say the exact same thing to me when I'd put the crumbs on the floor.
Yeah.
Same.
She'd say,
gets
who do
it.
you think cleans these floors? And I was like, yeah, you do. You're my mom. And she gets so mad.
My mom used to say, "Oh, do you think the cleaning fairy comes?"
You're like, isn't
I was
that
just
you?
like, I don't see the problem.
Yeah,
That's what you-
it's giving
She'd
you
be like,
something to do.
I was so mad.
Oh my gosh.
I'm like, yeah, no, I know who cleans the floors.
That's the least favorite. Well, my blood work came back, and I think I'm anemic. So maybe that's
I've been
why
saying that
That's
for
why she's a
4
sleepy
fucking
girl.
I'm
years.
tired all the time.
I was like, get some iron in your system. You have gentle iron.
I know, but I think
Maybe
it's
you
giving
need
me
to step up
headaches.
to normal iron.
No, I've been taking it at night, and then I have a headache the next day. So I think I just need
More
to eat
water?
burgers or something.
And
Isn't that
say
when you
less.
get iron?
I mean, beef, yeah.
Okay, well, I'll have. I don't like eating beef, but I'll do
Let's
it.
go! I love burgers. My favorite
Okay.
food. Anyways,
All
next
right, we've
question,
answered
please.
that.
Okay. How do you feel your relationship has changed since it started? It's been 5 years. So
It's
what
fun
was
now.
it like
No, I'm kidding.
at the beginning? It's fun now.
Kidding.
To be fair, it was always fun, but now it's seamless.
Yeah. No, it was a lot of ups and downs, but like a ton of fun, and also me just being emotionally triggered by literally everything, which was on me. Like you
Well, I mean,
how
there
were
was
you
definitely
gonna
some
know?
things I did that pissed her off. I'm not going to try to put myself through green lights here, but I think starting out, like, obviously just attraction to each other, loved being around each other, but as my schedule as a videographer, photographer, is creative, just kind of got crazier, and Juliet was shifting around trying to figure out different jobs and situations, and we weren't living together. it did make the relationship hard because we just weren't able to be around each other as much as we would have loved.
I was the worst too. I would say like, well, maybe we should just break up.
She would. And I told her at one point, finally, I was
no.
like, then commit.
He was
I was like, then
just
do it.
leave me. And I was like, but I don't really want to.
like,
I'm just saying it to make sure that you don't want that.
And I hated that.
So I haven't done that ever since.
Oh my God. I know my second least favorite thing about you. She will phrase things because she wants them. She's like, hey, do you feel like you want to leave early? And I go, is it because you want to leave early? And she was like, yes.
Or I'll say, are you getting hungry?
Which means I'm hungry. Feed me. That's maybe that one could take the place of time. I'll swap.
Oh, I didn't know you hated that so much.
No, I don't hate it. I don't hate anything.
He's just teasing you.
It's just funny because I'm like, just say that you want the thing.
My grandma used to do that.
Anyways, point is,
she'd be like, is anybody hungry? And we're like, you are. I think that's a BV quality.
Our relationship evolved beautifully.
Yeah.
It was actually really great.
We're very happy.
Because she met me when I was kind of like fresh out of the gate 21. Mm-hmm. And which didn't mean a lot, honestly, other than I was a little younger and I just had more of a 21-year-old's mindset, not in terms of like drinking, but just like wanted to go out all the time and like do all this stuff. I just felt like a little bit more like I was on the Autobahn mentally.
You're refined.
Yeah, and I feel like I'm just like kind of cruising. It feels nice, and that's evened out our relationship too. Mm-hmm. But I'm telling you, we worked through all the kinks. It was awesome. It's like probably my favorite thing about our relationship is that we did all that.
Yeah.
Because now we're here and we can talk about it and not get pissed off about it.
No. Also, I hit a point where I'm like, sometimes something might bother me, and then I go, whatever. It's like, is this really worth it?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. What?
No.
I just want to touch
we're just
you.
Linking arms now.
What's the next question?
Has Victor gotten used to Brittany yet?
Oh, well, Brittany moved into the closet.
Brittany did move into the closet, and here's the thing.
I thought that would be nice to do for
all
him.
of 2 minutes to get used to it. Mm-hmm. But it was really funny because did you already talk about this on the show? Like what I said? I was like, oh, you want to like fold Brittany up and put her something? And you're like, fold Brittany up?
Oh, yeah. You're like, oh, she folds really nicely into X amount of pieces.
No.
It's like, you bought me a life-size Britney Spears and you think I'm going to put her in the closet? So she was out for like maybe 9 months.
Yeah, solid amount of time.
Oh, no, not 9 months.
For your birthday, so
for
like 6 months.
4 to 5 months.
That one, whatever. I don't do math.
Yeah, she's in the closet now.
My favorite thing was, this is just a fun fact. So when I ordered that life-size cutout, Britney Spears in real life is like 5'3". The cutout said it was 6'1", which means that it would be taller than me by 2 inches. And I was like, we'll run that risk because she loves Britney Spears and it was for her 30th. I was like, it'll be fun. And it showed up and it was 5'3", and I was like, okay, dodged a bullet on that one.
That's so funny. A giant Britney,
Gigantic.
Oversized.
Sadie height.
I'm not 6'1". Come on.
With shoes.
With shoes on. Almost.
Me too.
Juliet, you just seem so calm and sweet all the time. Do you guys ever argue? Of course you guys do.
Oh my gosh, my sister read that because she moderates the Patreon, and she read that and she said that she laughed so hard because she knows I'm kind of fiery.
We've never argued once.
So there's more to this question.
Oh,
do you guys ever argue, and how do you typically come to a resolution? So like, what's your tips for arguing in a healthy way versus a toxic way?
I think the best thing that we can do. Okay.
Like, how do you guys handle it? Not what you think you should do.
Okay. So what I did recently was I opened up my little morning pages journal and I just started writing out like, I'm so mad. I can't believe this. How dare he do this? And it was literally an invitation to something fun. Like truly, he's like, oh yeah, when we go to San Diego, the set is from 10 p.m. to 2 a.m. And then after we're going out to, and I was like, what? Like I got so upset that he actually thought that I was going to stay at a bar until 2 a.m. and then go to another bar on what was supposed to be like sort of a romantic weekend. So I just was flipping out. So I like wrote everything down, and then at the very end of it, I was like, okay, what do I need to communicate? So I wrote down like, I desire for us to make that decision that night. I desire to not commit to that plan right now. I desire for like some more quality time. And so by the time you came in the bedroom, why are you laughing? This is exactly how it played out.
It is. I'm laughing because my friend was over, and after I told Juliet that, she gave me a look like, we'll talk about it, and walked off to the bedroom, and I look over at my friend and goes, man, she's fucking pissed. And he goes...
And he came in the bedroom, and I said, I need to read you these things. And I read my little list. And
she
then,
didn't read me the angry part. She wrote what she wanted out of the trip.
No, don't read the angry
That's
part.
good.
But otherwise, I've gotten a lot better at not saying like, you always do this, you never do this.
Yeah, no finger pointing.
That's really triggering.
I think early on too, because I react this way in a different sense. Like I react this way when someone like crosses a line that I think is either like really harmful or like will endanger someone's life, which I guess is the same thing. But like raw emotion is really sketchy if you can't harness it and like contain your words. So I think like early on in our relationship, if something happened and you sparked, you would just like shoot words off the top of your head.
Yeah.
And they were very hurtful.
I know.
Because I would try to be like, whoa, like what? But now, and this is my process because I dealt with anger for a long time in my life, was like if something really bothers me, I kind of have to internalize it. Not forever, but just for like 10, 15 minutes and sit on it and be like, okay, what is the source of making me upset? Like, am I sad? Am I disappointed? Like, what is it? Or like, am I actually mad? And then I can talk about it. Mm-hmm. And we've both gotten really good at communicating in that sense. Like, we can't just, the second something's wrong, we can't just fire off the top of our head.
Right.
We have to source the argument because for us, like, we value each other's times, we value each other's love, and we never want to pinpoint anything on the other one.
Yeah.
So we've just got really good at communicating.
I feel, well, let's be specific. So like, I think, how would we communicate? I would say, this is what I do now.
Yeah.
I will say, I am feeling upset. I am feeling not heard. I am feeling, so I like put a word to it as opposed to like,
Instead of saying,
I can't believe it.
You're not hearing me. You're like, I'm feeling unheard.
Yeah. I am feeling overwhelmed. I am feeling this. And then it allows for him to say, okay, well, what's going on?
Yeah.
And then we've also talked about how like when I'm really emotional, I don't want the logical answer.
Yeah. This is actually a big flaw of mine.
Well, no,
It's a general
masculine thing.
You want to fix it for us.
So if I'm like, like I'm upset about something, and you come in with truly the logical thing. And I remember one time I was crying and I looked at you and I said, I don't want you to approach me logically. I want you to like approach me emotionally and offer to give me a hug and just like listen and like come in with love. Because the logic just frustrates me more because I don't care that I'm being illogical. I just need to like let this feeling out or express it. And I did say on the podcast a couple weeks ago that I was having a night like that, not at you, just overwhelmed. And you let me like cry for like 15 minutes. And then you said, would you like to take a bath? And it was just the perfect thing. So I think just getting good at taking ownership, like I am feeling this, I am feeling that, I am experiencing this. When this happened, it made me feel like, not you made me feel, but like this action made me, this situation. So we're really good at that now, I think.
Yeah. Again, it's a dance.
Yeah.
Like any argument is a dance because there's a way for one person to lead and one person follows. Mm-hmm. And if you lead with anger, the partner will follow. So my thing is I can get quick to defense. Like Juliet can be like, oh, I didn't like the way I turned out. I'm like, why? And like all of a sudden I can like flare up. There's not actually a reason for me to be on defense, but it happens like instinctually for me.
Yeah, we all have
to guard.
Yeah.
But now we just do a really good job of communicating. Like, yeah, if she's like, I don't like how this went. And the writing something like angry out. I remember a long time ago telling you about how to win friends and influence people, whatever, that book. And the very first chapter is talking about Abraham Lincoln and what he would do. And when someone had scorned him or done anything, he would write them a letter, put it in an envelope, seal it, and then burn it.
See, that's a spell right there.
Mm-hmm. Because for him, it was like, I have now released my
Yeah.
words. And they always say, like, writing things down physically, like, engraves it into your brain. So he wrote out his anger. He got his frustrations out through pen, sealed it, and just let it go.
So I sort of did the Abraham Lincoln method.
Correct. Yeah. And I actually think it's a great approach. Not that I have done it, because I deal with things in my own way.
What are okay?
But I love it. And so I think that's how we've just dealt with arguing, is how do we listen and really make sure the other one's needs are being met?
It's building. It's like a muscle, because it's very easy to get upset and then default to like a lot of mean things coming out of our mouths, or my mouth. Usually mine. But not anymore. Not really anymore.
No.
Because I get in the practice of like, stop, take a deep breath. Stop, take a deep breath. What do you almost have to treat yourself like you would treat a little kid having a tantrum.
Also, and we can say this is maybe the last piece of advice if you want to move on to the next question.
I'm ready.
Choose your battles.
Oh.
Don't die on every hill.
Yeah.
Like, some things just aren't worth it. And I've had to do that. Juliet's had to do that, where sometimes you're like, and you're like,
do I want to have a nice night, or do I
like,
want to win?
Yeah, or do I want to win? Like, and you have to sometimes decide, is winning worth it? And if it is, then die on that hill.
Yeah.
But if
most of the time it's not.
Yeah. And again,
It's
I think
like,
that's
whatever. He'll put the boxes outside tomorrow.
Yeah, or tonight.
Or tonight. Oh, baby.
Oh, right after this, maybe even. Who knows?
Well, let's not get crazy, but. Okay.
Okay, this is a great question for each of you. Victory, we'll have you go first. What was the moment that you went, whoa, I love Juliet? Like, when was the moment you first realized you loved? Do you remember that moment?
I don't know if we've ever talked about this.
When did each of you know you loved the other?
You know, I don't know if it's because I just dove in head first and I was so ready for it. I don't know if you've harped on this at all in any episode, but like when Juliet and I met each other, we both kind of were like, screw dating.
Yeah.
And our, the genders we were going after. Like, so I was kind of over female, she was over males. And that moment we kind of decided that is when we found each other, which was really funny.
Mm-hmm. That happens all the time.
Yeah.
You let it go.
But,
Yep.
oh man, the moment I was just like, I love her. It was probably early on. I couldn't even say probably like more than 2 months in, honestly, where I was just like, I get it. And I was like, I get it and I want it.
Babe!
And I think for me, like that was I can't tell you a specific moment. I think because I was so invested in the relationship, because I was so tired of everything else that had happened in my life, that I wanted it so badly.
Aww.
So I can't pinpoint an exact moment for you, but I can tell you that it was very early on where I was just like, game on, like ready, set, match.
Oh, I don't know when.
She's like, I still don't.
No, I'm very much in love with you. I feel like I loved you at different levels at different times. And so when I say this, it's not that I didn't love you for the first year.
Well, the truth comes out. I started to love you last year.
She was like about 3 months ago is really when it picked up.
No, when there was some grieving going on and some losses in my family, you really showed up for me. And
that was a hard time.
I felt like I could really, really trust you. And I feel silly now because I could have done that from minute one, but I needed time.
That's okay. Everyone moves about life differently.
So I think I think I also pretty instantly loved you. But I think it was in those moments, or like when we moved in here together and we were just doing like, I don't know, making choices together, or just the things I see you go above and beyond for your family. Like there's just a lot of little things that have added up over time that make me think like, oh, I really have a good guy.
And we even say it now. I think we were laying on the floor of our master bedroom last night, and I don't know, it probably happens to us 3-4 times a week, where we just look at each other and I was like, I love you so much that I don't know what to do with it sometimes.
I really feel that way.
Like sometimes it drives
really
us
do.
crazy and it sounds hilarious, but it's just like, this is gonna come out wrong, so bear with me here. But it's like I'm almost like angry that I love you so much. So I'm like,
It's like
what
when
does it
you
mean?
look at your pet or you see a baby and you want to like squish them or take a bite out of them.
Yes.
Exactly, like nibble their little fingers.
Yeah, you're like, why
That's
do I
what
want to take a bite of you? I love you
That's
so
how
much.
it feels.
But that is truly how it feels, and we just crack each other up because sometimes she'll be like, I love you so much, I don't know what to do with it.
Yeah.
And I'm like, big same, big same, and then we'll watch like HGTV.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's fun.
We're
So
very
love has
lucky.
evolved, but
We're
I
very-
clearly just, I was in it.
What?
I said, our love evolved, but clearly I was just in it.
What?
It only took Juliet 4 years.
Only.
Hey, I made it. Here we are.
So this question I'm going to read, but I think we already answered it. I just want this person's question to be. So, have you ever had a profound fight or odd period in your relationship where the moment you were thinking, is this even the right person for me? Or how are we going to come out of this? And now you look back on it and realize without that moment, you wouldn't be as strong and happy together as you are today. I think we kind of touched on that.
I think we kind of touched on it because it was right before we moved in together. Like, and it's not that, do I belong with this person? Because for me, that was like undoubtedly the truth, is that I belong with Juliet. But it was, you know, like the meme, like the Tiger King guy, whatever. He's like, I'm never going to financially recover from this. That was kind of us. Like, how are we going to recover from this? And like,
Ooh, I was not happy.
yeah, and totally within your rights to not be. It was just, I think that was the moment.
Well, I remember, yes, and I remember saying, we don't, like, we've been together for 3 or 4 years.
It's like 3.5 years
and I
going
was
on
like,
4 or something.
I said, we could break up today, and I wouldn't even have to drop off a toothbrush at your house. Like, we don't have any
Yeah.
shared semblance of any life together. And I was craving that so bad. And now it would be, you know, pragmatically a nightmare if we broke up. There's so much stuff. But
98% of it's mine.
That's
I am
true.
an absolute materialist.
That's-
Love minimalism, absolute
not a
materialist.
minimalist. But yeah, I was yearning for, like, I want to build a life with you. And we just like that was such a moment of like, our love is it's not enough. Like, I wanted
it had to
have
level up.
more with you.
Yeah, it had to level up. And the truth was, even at the time, I definitely didn't help the situation, because me trying to be like cool about everything and like very chill, I was like, but what do you mean? Like, we are committed to each other. We are building a life, which in retrospect was a really, really stupid thing to say, because we weren't moving forward in the direction that we truly needed to. Like,
babe, you've
I
never
do
said that.
feel very connected to Juliet at all times, like regardless of the situation. But that was a situation where I was like, I totally get it.
Oh, honey, that's nice that you admitted. We never talked about that.
No, we didn't.
This is
But-
bonding. I
A
love
breakthrough.
this. Yeah.
Beautiful.
Thank you for saying that.
You're welcome. Anytime, sugar.
Thanks for living with me
Hey, thanks for living with me and
do
dealing
it
with my boxes.
till we die.
So-
many boxes.
This listener's question is about each other's family. How does everyone get along? Are there any special bonds between?
Superbular.
Is that a word?
No.
Oh.
Superb is.
But you know, it is a word that you taught me. Triplicate. I was like, Victor, that's not a word.
I know,
You're
like, don't people
making
say
it
like
up.
fill something out in triplicate? And she was like, and I was like, I'm not wrong. That was a hill I died on.
Because he was correct. So we love each other's families.
Oh, such good times.
We have great times with each other's families.
Her family came over to our place for the holidays, and like I cooked everyone a huge pasta meal. We played games on our TV. Juliet comes to every freaking
I've
Salazar
traveled with your
Virgil event.
family.
She's traveled with it.
Yeah.
Like we always just laugh. Like there's always just
It's
memories
fun.
and laughter with family. And I think that's so special.
Well, and that was sort of both like the dream that both of us had, that we would
Yeah.
meet people who really meshed with one another's families, because that would be a deal breaker.
Oh yeah, that would be a deal breaker.
That would probably be our biggest.
Also, like, it would just be a bummer if you weren't close to your family, or if I wasn't close to my family. Like that
Yeah.
just, I don't know. I think we're just so family oriented, and we
family
both
people.
like, she wants to be a mom. Like I definitely want to be a dad. And so for us, nothing's happening. Disclaimer. But that is something that we've always like thought about, building families within our own rights. And now that we're together, it's like, oh no, we'd have to have our families, like extensions and all this stuff, because that's life.
That's life.
That's life. I don't know that
That's
song. I'm just tuning in. If you both had to decide on one place to vacation, or maybe even move to, where would it be?
No, let's do vacation first.
Vacation. We definitely want to go to France.
I'm gonna go to Paris.
Paris.
That's what I'm manifesting right now.
Paris and
Hawaii.
so we've gotten shafted on going to
We've
Hawaii
tried
about
going
like
to
3 years
Hawaii.
straight.
Yeah. We'll go this year. How about that?
Yeah, but Hawaii for sure. We both love Hawaii,
We want to go together.
but we'd love to go together.
The I don't know if this was the first time, but Juliet and Victor had their Hawaiian vacation planned the exact week that everywhere went into lockdown.
Our flight to leave was the day
It was
lockdown
on like the
happened.
15th
or something.
because we worked together at the time, and for months Juliet and I are talking about this trip, and
So
I'm
stupid.
getting so excited for her. This is their first big trip together, and then literally
COVID.
the week before we were debating, she's stressing out, we're debating if they should go or not, and then they had to cancel because it was that exact week.
Yep.
And I remember we were at the spa with our friends the night before. We were at Voda Spa with Jay and
And it was
Claire.
still eerie.
It was still a little eerie. Like not a lot of people were out, but it was more chill. Like I had just gotten back from Colorado on a gig. We were hanging out.
Colorado.
Yeah, I was doing 303
Oh,
day.
yeah.
I filmed 303. It was very fun.
Ooh, that's cool. I used to be super into 3.
They're our friends now. It's crazy. Oh, yeah, I have Sean's number. It's fine.
Let's hang out.
Yeah, anyways, 303. I got to film Little John. That was cool too. But not important. The point was like, that was COVID. And I remember traveling and being like, oh, this is like a little weird. Like everyone seems a little on edge, but I was like, whatever, it'll blow over. Came back, we went to the spa again, felt a little bit more eerie because things were getting more serious. And it was like, all right, well, we'll see you guys tomorrow or we'll see you guys when we come back from Hawaii. Next day,
Yeah, we
Gone.
didn't go. So we're going to go, and it's going to be great.
where would we want to move to? I have my
I
answer
want
for
to
that.
live right next to Sadie.
Yeah,
Okay.
moving to the beach.
The beach. But I guess my thing is I wouldn't leave California.
No, I want to stay here.
I love California.
I wanna
There's
stay
so many issues with everywhere, and honestly, the place I'd rather deal with issues is in California.
Yeah,
Yep.
it's
I like the
beautiful.
problems
And
here.
I grew up here, and both of our families are here, and it's right by the ocean, and I don't want to go anywhere else.
Yeah, it just makes sense. Also, we'll just, all make enough money to all travel everywhere we want, whenever we want.
I love that.
Yes.
But we'll be based in California.
I love that.
I love it. Let me see if there's any more questions. I was thinking up a few.
Oh.
What is each of you? What's your ideal date night?
Oh, that's
April
a cute-
26th, when it's not too hot and not
It's
too
not
cold.
too cold.
You can just
It's
wear a light
just
sweater. Juliet's ideal date night, I can tell you right off the bat, would be 17 movies back to back. Wake
Ugh.
up, watch movies, go to sleep watching movies. No breaks in between. No.
No.
For me, truthfully, I can actually recall one date we went to the beach, and it was almost like we were kids again. We just played in the sand, like laying in like the shore break, trying to build trenches and all this stuff, building
was
castle,
fun.
and we were like covered in sand, and we still have since never done anything like that. Like we've gone to the beach, but
Guess who lives at the beach and is ready to play in the sand with you? It's
I
me.
know someone.
We have lots of beach toys
You
at our
guys do.
house.
So, anyways, I think ideal date. I'm
just
speaking
being
on both of us. Is just
playful.
like being playful, like having like delicious food.
But
like,
you know what? We had quite a playful paint night here.
oh yeah, that was really fun too. We did paintings
Got paint all over the place.
all over the place. But I think things that allow you kind of just release what's happening in the world, like things that just allow you to have fun and be a kid.
I want to tell. I'll tell the part of the paint story.
Okay.
Not the whole thing, but there was I have all these canvases, and we're like, oh my gosh, we're gonna paint me, like my boobs, and we're gonna like do a print on the canvas, and it's gonna be so sexy and so great. paint. And Victor's putting like all this attention into the colors and he's painting me. And we're like, oh, this is going to be amazing.
We really thought it was going to be.
We're having so much fun. And then he puts the canvas up against me. And he backs it up, and I'm truly expecting to see like a Picasso of my boobs, and it's just too perfectly filled in.
Hey, you know they're symmetrical. Shout out.
I was like, this is not at all what we thought it was gonna look like.
It was so
We
funny.
laughed so hard.
Yeah, I think we were just
so much
cracking
fun.
up. We still have paint on our shower curtains.
Yeah, so we just
But, like-
like to be creative and playful and silly.
Okay, let's say it this way. Like, good breakfast, beach on a nice day,
Yeah.
late lunch / dinner, and then like just some level of activity where
Snacks
we get
peppered
to
in between.
just be with each other and laugh.
Yeah. That's
Like, laughter is honestly, I think out of everything we always do, we always seek.
Yeah,
having fun.
Because we're not like, I'm not a, maybe you are. For sure you are. I'm not a thrill seeker.
I was like, I'm definitely a thrill seeker.
I don't want to like skydive with him.
I want to go so bad.
But just being playful and silly.
Well, is there any last words of wisdom? Any things you want to share with us for on this wonderful, dreamy, love-filled Valentine's Day episode?
Give whoever you love a hug.
Aww, nice.
Friends, family. I don't know. Just for me, like, I work with my family, and most people are like, how do you even do that? And the truth is, there's a lot of times where we all butt heads, but at the end of any time that's happening, I would lay it all down for my family, like people I love. And same with my friends. Like, if you're my friend, you're my family, and I will have your back. So hug people, love them. Life's uncertain. And just really make sure the people in your life are worth having in your life.
And my advice is be with someone who lets you be you fully. And even if they're not doing the activity with you, because Victor doesn't sit down and like do my stuff with me, but he's so supportive and he just wants to see me be happy. So I would say find someone that even if you don't have the witchiness in common or whatever, that lets you be you, doesn't make you feel bad or weird about it. And also, I've just been in situations again with like just not great situations. And so if anybody needs a reminder that like there's good men, there's good partners in the world who you will be really, 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 really happy with, like it exists, it is real, and you might have to work out some little kinks along the way.
Yeah, you gotta work out kinks in life anyways.
But then maybe you'll get a baber.
Yeah. The moral of the story is find your baber.
Find your baber.
Find your baber.
And if you have your baber, love your baber.
Love him. Hold him close.
Snuggle him.
Oh, should we show the lion thing that we do?
Oh, yeah. Did you talk about what we do?
No.
Okay, so
This is new to me too. I
Like,
don't know what you're talking about.
I was about to say we're
can
like
be the
animalistic in some
send-off.
ways, and I'm not talking like we're like throwing against each other against the walls or anything like that. Nothing
No.
crazy. Or we're not just eating raw meat. But what we do, if you ever watch like any sort of big cat just nuzzle, we nuzzle. Here, I'll even get the mic in for sound effects because my beard might add. But like
Some ASMR for everybody.
We'll just do this.
We do this.
Oh my God, Craig does that to me all the time,
And
and
we
I'm like,
just-
get off of me! I need space.
It doesn't matter what direction. We just flow. There's a thing in martial arts called Chi Sao, and Chi Sao is the flowing of hands. And this is what we do. It's the flow of heads. This is Baber Sao. And I love it so much. And afterwards, I just feel like I took a big, deep breath.
We like to be like touching all the time. A couple nights ago, We don't cuddle when we go to sleep. There's 2 big pillows that I put in between us that I call the partition. Because if he rolls on his back, he'll snore. So I bolster him up, but sometimes his little hand will come over and we'll hold hands and he'll fall
unconsciously.
asleep.
I will reach for her.
It's cute. Oh my God, the amount of glitter that's down on your face.
Well, I love to shine.
Oh, you sparkly man.
So yeah, like I love her so deeply that when I am unconscious, my body, like, so normally she sleeps on the left side of the bed, I sleep on the right, and I'm a right side sleeper all my life. I have now become attuned to sleeping on my left side so I can face her.
We're obsessed with each other.
It's freaky.
It's funny because I like need space during the day. I'm like, please don't cuddle me. And then at night we snuggle all night long on the opposite.
That's so funny.
I'm like, why aren't you around me? Where did you go?
I know we have a king bed, but if I could get the next size up, I would. Like just bigger
whenever we're in a hotel with a king size bed, I'm like, babe, we're never getting a king size bed. If anything, I'd get a double instead of the instead of the queen we have.
I love a queen bed. I loved it. We were always so
queen's perfect. I don't want smaller, but I don't like king size beds. Hate them.
It works for my feet, so they don't just hang over.
Oh my gosh.
Well, anyways, I think
this has been really fun.
It's been
so
great.
I want to try something.
Oh yeah.
I'm gonna. Victor, tell us all about Intuitive Magic Oracle Deck. This is our ad break, and I want you to ad-lib it for us. I think this is going to be fun. We'll get you started. You chime in.
Sure.
Intuitive Magic Oracle Deck, created by Goddess Hangs podcast co-hosts Sadie Olson and Juliet Piper. We have a special guest with us here today. What would you like to share about Intuitive Magic Oracle?
It's as intuitive as it sounds. Okay.
You heard it here first.
Life is unpredictable, but when you follow your gut, you pick that card, you look at what it's going to say, it tells you everything you need to know about the next steps in life.
Oh.
For instance, as someone who runs around all day, I drew a card recently that said, take a break. And you know what we did?
We took a break.
We took a break.
So I've had
Personal
Victor
testimony.
pull a card recently.
Yes, that was actually the first card I've ever pulled in all 26 years of my life.
I haven't been pushy, but I was like, it might be fun if you just pulled one. And it literally was like, slow down.
That makes sense.
And that is why you need to buy yourself an Oracle deck from Goddess Hangs. Intuitive magic is real, and it's alive in you.
Oh, honey, that's great. Good job.
You heard it here first, folks. Victor Salazar loves Intuitive Magic Oracle. Link in the show notes to get yours today. And Victor, we'd also like to ask you about the Goddess BFF Patreon. What have you heard? What do you think?
What's the word?
What do the people need to know?
Let me tell you about the Goddess Hangs Patreon. You ever heard the term bee's knees? It is the bee's knees. It is the place to be for the bee's knees. This is the gossip, the tea, the nitty gritty. This is where you become a goddess, okay? This is where you're gonna meet your best friends, Juliet and Sadie. This is where you're gonna meet your other best friends, all the girls in the community. This is where you're gonna feel so alive, so in touch with yourself, your inner thoughts. Everything about you will glow and you will feel like magic. That's what I feel about the Patreon.
There we go.
Haven't you noticed a big spike in my happiness since we started it?
Oh, every single day. It's so great. I actually love hearing all the conversations everyone has.
Look at that.
It's so cute. I love seeing everything. There's every range of human in there, and it makes me happy.
And today, right before we began filming this, Sadie and I were having some pasta, and we hopped into one of the live voice channels, and we basically FaceTimed with like 6 of the girls.
It was so
Amazing.
fun.
And it was so fun, and we're going to do that all the time. So it's a great way to be our bestie in real life.
Yeah, and community is honestly so important.
It's everything.
really
There's
is.
power in numbers and
numbers and power.
also
I don't
true. But, I mean, it's really, my mark
now
is...
I'm just like, you need to be closer to me. You're not. No, don't move away.
All
what I
right.
got to
Well, thank you, Victor, for being our special guest
baby.
for the Valentine's
you.
Day episode. We have lots of info in our show notes if you want to take one of mine or Juliet's courses. If
Would
you
do it.
leave us a review on Apple Podcasts and email us a screenshot, you can get a very special personally recorded goddess meditation. Just send that screenshot to goddesshangs@gmail.com. We'd love to hear from you. Make sure you're following us on Instagram Victor, would you like to share your Instagram? Where can the people
Sure.
find you?
At Victor Salazar Films. I have 3 A's in my last name. Salazar.
Like Salazar Slytherin. You may
Like
have
Salazar
heard of him.
Slytherin if you're a Harry Potter fan. And I actually grew up on a street called Crookshank. 2 Harry Potter
What?
references.
I
Isn't
didn't know
fun
that.
fact?
Sadie learned a fun fact today. That and
full of 'em.
the lion nuzzle. So we'll put that in the show notes. Make sure you're following us at Goddess Hangs. I'm at I am Sadie Olson.
I'm at Juliet.Piper.
Goddesses, we love you so much. We can't wait to see you in the Patreon. Thank you for all of your amazing questions. And we'll
Thank you,
see
Victor, for
you
being our
next
guest.
Oh, thank you guys.
Bye.
Shakalaka.
I'll give my kiss.